everyone, Kurt here. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let me ask you something. Are you drinking enough water? Can you really know? Is our need to always have a water bottle near a false dependency created by water companies, or worse, by the plastic bottle manufacturers? Or is this all just a bunch of nonsense? Laugh about this and more when co-creator Todd Devlin finally joins us for an episode. And since we're just starting out, and I'm not going to be able to do this all the time, I want to give a shout out to some of our new listeners. Whether you're driving to or from work, or just getting your creativity on, a big hello to Debbie M. from Carmack, Jamie G. from Ephrata, PA, Kim and Livy B. from Newtown, Connecticut, Neely P. from over the pond in the UK, and our newest listeners, Sue and Erica F. in Lancaster, PA. And I'd also like to thank all our listeners in the US, the UK, Italy, Germany, Russia, and anywhere around the world you might be listening. And hey, if you're enjoying our show, please help us out by giving a 5-star rating, writing a short review, subscribing, and sharing. And now, without any further introductory nonsense, please enjoy the show. Welcome everyone to another episode of Nonsense. You could say a very special episode. Why? Because the co-creator of Nonsense, my longtime good friend, Todd Devlin, is here for the first time on the show. It seems unreal. This is episode 5 and you're just coming on the show and you're the co-creator.
Well, Kurt, I have to say it's a pleasure to be here. It's good to be involved in an episode of Nonsense. I saw what you did. I like what you did. I love... Kurt does all the work, by the way.
No.
Kurt does all the work, by the way. So
that's nice.
It's just really a pleasure to finally be out here and recording episode 5?
I think this is going to be episode 5. I think 4 was... We just did My Friend Paranormal.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's the last one.
The topic of today, do you remember?
No.
We just came up with the idea, I want to say 15 minutes out. I set up all the equipment and now we're talking about it. Well, I want to talk about the consumption of water because I find it...
Oh, yes.
Because I just personally find it interesting how people have attached themselves to phones and water bottles. And this isn't a show about phones.
It could
it's
be.
a show about water bottles. So I want to go into it because we come at it from different sides. I barely drink any water and you drink a ton of water. So I want to discuss it in a fun and humorous fashion. But let's first get to what are we drinking today?
Okay. Well... Apparently, we have Scotch from Scotland, and I never heard of a Scotch called Bowmore.
You know what? Before I spell it out or I say it, what do you think that Devlin is saying? What do you think Devlin's been saying? And I want maybe go back and re-listen. What do you think Devlin's saying? Okay. What word you coming up with? Now I'll tell you what he was saying. He was saying Bowmore. Bowmore. Bowmore.
I wasn't saying Bowmore?
Sorry, I digress. You were introducing the Scotch.
We're drinking a Scotch I never heard of called Bowmore. Bowmore. You know, I was trying to do a Scottish accent and we're drinking Bowmore. It's an 18-year aged single malt.
Maybe you can buy it in the States, maybe you haven't. I've been probably drinking Scotch now for 5 years. How long have you been drinking Scotch for?
I'll say 10 years.
Have you ever seen this brand in the U.S.?
No.
I'd like to give a shout out to my brother and his family. They went to Scotland.
That's
and for
amazing.
my birthday, they brought me home like 6-7 bottles, little bottles, of random scotches that they thought maybe weren't sold in the U.S. And so this is one of them. So I'm going to hate it if we love it. I'm not going to hate it. You know what? If I love this, I'm going to go to Scotland in the next 2 years.
I'll go with you.
All right. And Jen always wanted to go to Scotland too.
Okay.
All right. And we'll go visit Bowmore's factory.
Yes, of course. It says that it's the first Islay malt. Islay.
We don't know
the
anything.
First Islay
We're not Scotch
malt.
drinkers. We don't even know how to pronounce the words.
But that's got to be something.
Listen,
There's not nothing.
how does everyone pronounce Islay? I like to think it's like a fun shortened version of
Islay?
like a fun shortened
Islay?
version of Island. We're both from Long Island.
Right.
So if we were going to say Island in a fun way like that way, it'd be Long Islay. Islay. I would call it Islay.
Islay.
Is that how you say Islay? The
Again.
first Islay malt.
Yes,
Someone
I have no
correct
idea.
us, please.
Please. Or confirm.
Confirm.
Correct or confirm.
So we're starting neat, and we got ice on the side
Yes.
that we're going to add.
I would think it would be very irresponsible and almost criminal if you didn't taste this scotch neat.
Cheers, Devlin. I'm
Cheers,
so happy
Kurt.
you're finally on the show.
Wow. That's exciting. I've never tasted anything like this. It's delicious.
Please describe in much detail as you
I'll
can
try.
as your experience.
That was so surprising. It was tough. A lot happened on my tongue.
What are your first impressions before we go in for a second sip? Because my first impression I got was like, I normally drink Scotch on the rocks. You can not like that, but I
do too.
like it. I like a lot of ice. Sorry.
I do too.
I like a lot of ice. So it's something for me to have a Scotch neat. It was so smooth to start. So smooth.
So many flavors happened.
Oh,
As it rolled on my tongue that I was so surprised that I couldn't believe it. And there was no heartburn. There's no burning. It was very nice.
Wonderful. What were the flavors you got?
I don't know. That I have to revisit.
But you got smoothness, flavor, and then it ended with like I don't want to call it a burn because it's not a burn, but it's for.
Let me try another sip.
Yeah.
And we can isolate them. God, it's just so smooth. I taste a little smoke, but not overbearing.
A
touch. Very
caramel.
pleasant. Maybe. I'm not experienced enough to call a caramel in I think I used to call it caramel. I thought that was the prop. One day I heard caramel and I was shocked.
So you grew up saying caramel too?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. I think it's a Long Island thing.
It has to be. I mean, we're from different towns with Suffolk County.
Yeah, please weigh in on that. Where are you from and what did you call it growing up? Jen and I think I got into it.
Well, I'm from Suffolk County, about mid. You're more western Suffolk County, Carmack. And we all said, as far as I know, we all said caramel.
I think I was
caramel.
I think I was in my 30s or late 20s, but well on in life, where then I heard people saying caramel, and I realized, oh, it is caramel. It's not a tomato thing.
Yeah, I looked at the spelling, like, wow.
And if you're saying caramel, you might as well be saying Earl, and I gotta Earl the car. I gotta get Earl for the car.
I do like saying that.
I
like saying turlet.
Turlet? Turlet's a fun one.
It is.
Why say toilet? It's so boring.
It's very boring.
Turlet is very nonsensical.
Turlet is hilarious.
Like the turlet. You told me about one your uncle used to say.
Goyles.
I like that one. That's like a real... Where was he from? Goyles.
That's a good question. I think his mom was from Poland, but I'm not sure.
No, I mean like Brooklyn, Bronx.
He grew up in like East New York, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I would peg that up. I'm not a good accent guy, but I think I would have guessed Brooklyn. Like Goyles.
He sometimes sounds like when Howard Stern does an impression of his father. He sometimes sounded like that, where he was trying to speak properly, but he still said like Goyles. It's hard to do because I'm not really an impressionist.
Yeah, me neither. Do you want to come be better at impressions?
Sure.
All right. Devlin and I both admittedly...
Todd. You can call me Todd. Either one's fine. Devlin or Todd is fine.
How many years have I known you? What age do we meet?
I'd say, just to make it
20?
easy, 20.
And now I'm 51. So we've known each other
I'm in my late 40s.
31 plus years. I feel most comfortable calling you Devlin.
That's fine. It's fine by me.
Have we never had this conversation? I guess not.
You know what? You've called me Devlin a lot, and you've called me Todd a lot, and you've called me Todd Devlin. Like, I'm one of those people
That's
that
only
have
when
that
you're in
name.
trouble. Todd. Is there a long version of your name, or is it Todd?
No, it's Todd.
Todd Tholomew? It's not Todd. It's not short for Todd Tholomew.
Tiberius. Todd TT.
Todd Tiberius. Tiberius your middle name?
No.
Todd
James Kurt.
Todd Tiberius Devlin. All right, let's not drift too far. Scotch is wonderful. Highly recommend it. I will go to Scotland in the next 2 years. Devlin will go to Scotland in the next 2 years.
I'll go with you.
And Jem will go to Scotland in the next 2 years. And we might as well go together if that's the case.
Yeah, it's fine. Drink Bowmore.
Now let's get to the show. Let's talk about the nonsense of people are attached to their cell phones, and a lot of people are attached to their water bottles.
Well, I'm attached to water and water bottles. I don't use disposable bottles anymore. I have a plastic refill. It doesn't have the bad stuff in the plastic.
Now, as not a water drinker, just for the sake of perspective, did you grow up as a kid carrying around a
No.
thermos of water?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
How much water did you drink as a kid, would you say?
I would say I would binge water because you'd be outside playing, doing stuff. You come in, you drink like three big glasses of water.
You were a big water drinker.
Yeah, like because you didn't drink. You had right from the sink. The big glasses of water. I have like 2 or 3. Like you're so thirsty because.
Thank you for the sake of fascination. You've already said it, but I just want to double fact check.
Mm-hmm.
You were legit thirsty and wanted the water.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that like something was like you have this thing that I crack up about, like cockroaches in paper bags. I know you sent me an article the other day. I love it. Devlin is always warning in a nothing's really
I
serious.
grew up in a house,
but you do everything in a comical fashion, but it still has some reality to it. You would always warn me about. You have paper bags in your house?
Yeah,
there's cockroaches.
Yeah, you could be cut. I grew up that my mom said that fact, like to her, she had an exterminator, and he said she grew up in East New York too. That's how my uncle.
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
is Brooklyn East New York?
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Is that synonymous?
That's Brooklyn. Yes,
okay.
It's a part of Brooklyn.
I don't know about a lot of things.
So she grew up, and when I grew up. Her beliefs were that paper bags should not be kept in the house because they had roach eggs in them.
Roaches, they're attracted to them like stuff on
I guess
stuff.
they chew them up and lay their eggs in there.
Yep.
That's what, and so to this day, if there's a paper bag in my house, I'm throwing it away immediately.
And you know what's great? I'll say this. I'm just going to say it. For those of you who maybe late bloomers, having trouble getting out and experience the world, I'm just going to come up front. I lived home probably till I was like 32. I was a very late bloomer. Whatever person you are, there's like you, the real you, and then there's sometimes like the version of you put out there. Consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
And it surprises me running into the people I run into that I've known from long ago that I haven't seen in a while, when they say to me like, yeah, you never wanted to grow up. I was like thinking like, everybody saw that? Everyone knew that? Because I knew it. I don't know what I was I don't think I ever tried to front that I was successful or anything that I wasn't, but I maybe thought I was trying to hide that I was a late bloomer, even though I was how do you hide living at home? So the point is, all those 32 years, if you knew me, if you come in my house, to the right of my refrigerator, you would have found a thick stack of paper bags lined up that were kept from growth. So my whole entire life, 0 to when I lived home, 32, and it took a good woman to get me out of my house, Jen. I never wanted to get married and I wanted to live home forever. Who does that? Well, just know this. If you're one of those people and you're only 31, 32 may be the magic year for you. Mm-hmm. So. Never in my life did I see a cockroach in my house in comic.
Yeah, of course not.
And you may not know what Ken and I are saying. We're saying Comac, but we're saying it the right way, comic. So
fact check that one.
So you have you and your mom and the roaches in the paper bags. So I'm saying I'm not saying it's not 100% fact. I had paper bags in my house my entire life, and it's not like we used them, and so there was a recycled quantity. There was like probably 3 of the paper bags were there for 32 years.
Oh, fair enough.
Like I never saw a cockroach spawn out of a paper bag.
We didn't throw them away. We didn't throw them away. We kept them in the garage.
We burned them.
We kept them in the garage.
Did you ever see a cockroach in the garage?
All right,
so
I'm from South County.
What's interesting, I'm not saying it's not a fact. So you grew up, I want to say like paper bags is still in you. Get back to the point. I'm good at getting better. You guys let me know. Am I getting better at bringing us back to the point? Back to the point.
Of water?
Were you grown up, it being instilled in you that water was important to drink, or you were drinking out of pure thirst? Or was something instilled in you about water? Does your mom have something about water? Does your dad have something about? So it's like you grew up legitimately drinking a lot of water.
I don't think water was ever really discussed that much.
Why would anyone discuss water?
Yeah. You drank when you were thirsty. And you drank as much as you wanted. So yeah.
And if you're on Long Island, it was delicious.
Yeah,
it was great.
Right from the hose.
Great water.
Yes,
didn't even matter.
Told that right. So I love water.
So I grew up drinking virtually nothing for some reason. I used to wrestle. I don't think I really sweat that much in wrestling practice. Probably because I wasn't working that hard. Because I hated practice. I liked wrestling. We used to install pools together. It could be 90 degrees out. You could be digging a ditch and being surrounded by an aluminum pool. So it's essentially like enclosed digging in heat. And I still would drink. If I drank 8 ounces of water, it was a lot. If I drank 16 ounces,
can I ask you a question about
a
installing pools and drinking?
Yeah.
I have no recollection. Like, when we did pools, at least the first time around, it was very early in our meetings. And I don't remember, did people bring bottles of water? Was that popular yet?
No, there was no Gatorade. Sometimes after lunch, we'd have Gatorade bottles because we went to lunch. But I don't think anyone had the forethought. I don't think anyone in the car of 5 guys had the forethought of, I'm bringing water with me. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's amazing to me. And people aren't going around digging ditches for the most part. Maybe they are for the most part. But I'm saying people have jobs where they sit at a desk and and they're sitting and people are like attached to the water bottles. And it just fascinates me. It's just fascinating. It's like a need was created. Like,
okay, let me explain. I love water. And I'm overweight. I'm overweight.
But you legit grew up with water, so you're not...
I grew up drinking. Who didn't drink water?
I didn't have the experience you had. I came in from outside from playing, and I was lucky if I drank anything. Like, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
You legitimately had a consciousness about hydration.
Yeah. So I was thirsty, so I drank.
Okay.
And then you drink till you're not thirsty. You're dying of thirst. You're out there all day. You run to the kitchen. Me and my brothers or some friends just drink water.
So you could say there's a definitive spectrum of thirst. I'm on the lower end of the spectrum. You're on the higher end of the spectrum. But I'd say what's going on in the population is not reflective of the spectrum. Everyone has water on them.
Okay.
That's fascinating.
I think the consensus is that water is healthy. Now,
yes,
we have such a high sodium. Most people intake a high amount of sodium in this country.
Yeah.
I'm overweight. If you just have one fast food meal, you probably had enough sodium for like a lifetime. Really, it's crazy.
And can we note? And it's delicious.
I do like it. I wish I didn't. I was once organic for so long, like 3 months, and then I was like, you know what? I have to have McDonald's just so I hate it. It's not even real food, and I ate it, and they were trying to woo me back. It was delicious.
Sidebar. Is there any fast food place that's fully embraced the organic yet in a significant way, even if it's a new place?
Not that I know.
Is Chipotle organic, non-GMO?
There's something I like about Shake Shack and a place called BurgerFi because I never ate that yet. Out of all burgers, like chains of burgers tested, only those 2 got A's on like no antibiotics. And everyone else got F's, except for Wendy's. They got a D. I don't know what that means, but...
Can I tell you something? And FYI, this show is brought to you by Shake Shack. It's not really. It might as well be. This is live current events information that Devlin doesn't even know. Devlin often accuses me of sneaking health because I'm a vegetarian, more of a flexitarian, meaning I'm mostly vegetarian, but I'll occasionally eat meat. And if I do new health stuff without telling Devlin, he accuses me of sneaking health.
Yes, correct? Sneaking health.
So I don't want to be accused of sneaking health. This is the first time you are hearing it. And now the listeners are hearing it. Jen already knows I'm quitting meat and fish for a year.
That's good.
Legit. Back to Shake Shack. When I was a vegetarian and I had a long stretch, say like 10-month stretch, Jen and I love Philly. I love going to Philly. It's maybe my favorite city to go to. The food scene, everything. And the place we stay, there's a Shake Shack. We love the Palomar, Hotel Palomar. There's a place maybe 4 blocks from there, Shake Shack. We walk the blocks around the Palomar Hotel in that area, at the Rittenhouse Square, maybe it's called. And whenever we pass Shake Shack, I'd smell it and I'd be like, I am having that one day. I'm having that one day. Then I was on, maybe it was a birthday weekend, we were out there, and I'm like, I'm treating myself. I'm going to eat whatever I want. Jen and I went to Shake Shack. My first bite into the burger, I may have had legitimate tears. and pronounced it, "This is the best burger I ever had in my life." Like Shake Shack is all that. And when I have my burgers, I have the burger. It's a bun, the burger, and a slice of cheese. Like I'm eating it because I want to taste the meat and what it tastes like. And I cried. If I didn't cry on the outside, I cried on every level of my being on the inside. My emotional, mental, spiritual levels. My soul was crying.
I agree that people should be vegetarians, even vegans, but I'm weak. I don't want to give it up yet. But I'm trying to limit.
Shake Shack, one of the best burgers you've ever had?
The best burger I ever had was the Brindle Room in the city. We went there because...
That sounds fancy.
It wasn't. I thought it would be. But it actually wasn't. It was a nice little... It's a very small thing. We saw a thing, both one of my friends and I, the family, they're into food and everything. We saw the same show where it's like one of the top burgers in the United States. It happened to be in New York City, so we had to try it.
And?
It was so good. It was delicious. Everything I like about Shake Shack, it was like that plus. Like, it had such a char in it, but it was juicy. It wasn't like a big thick burger, which is a little different.
We're going to do a follow-up show. I'm quitting meat for a year solid. Mm-hmm. When I come back, follow signs. That's a topic for another show. If I get the okay to eat meat again after a year, if it's all clear, 2 things I want to do. One is in one day we're going to go to Shake Shack and what's your place?
The Brindle Room.
The Brindle Room in one day. And another day we're going to do the spare rib in Carmack and Smoking Owls in Massapequa. Both in New York, of course. Follow-up shows on that. Look for that in a year after my birthday passes.
Well, who knows? I might be off meat by then.
So let's get back to water.
Yes.
So,
love water.
Do you think that... I'm not saying water's not great for you, legit, all good for you, all smiles and sunshine and wonderful things. But do you think maybe, I know you think, we're going to go into conspiracy theory a little, light and fun. Do you think Nestle's trying to control the water a little bit? Do you have that sense about you? Okay.
Not a little bit.
Okay. So if there are companies that are trying to control the water, if that's maybe a thing, we're not saying it is or it isn't. So the amount of water people drink, is that a thing that's being injected into the culture so that people are attached to the water, or you think it's 100% everyone should be drinking lots of water?
The point is mute. Everyone should be drinking a lot of water. Should.
Fact.
Now, and here's what I base that on. For me, I don't have the best diet. I try to eat healthy. I try to limit the amounts of meats. I try to lose weight all the time, but I'm a heavy-set guy. Not so heavy-set. I have a big belly. I consider that heavy set.
You'd like to be thinner than you are.
Absolutely, but by at least 50 pounds. So that's, I would say, heavy set.
All right, okay.
It's not like I need to take off 10 pounds. So getting back to sodium and other things that you have in you from a bad diet, water cleanses. Water washes away. It does. You expel it. Now, here's how I know it's great. Sometimes I'll carry around a water bottle, but I won't drink it. I just have it, and that's more of like a comfort thing. But to actually drink it a lot is really good for you because I just feel great. I eat less. I feel like I lose weight more. And the more I drink, the better I feel.
I love that you're talking about it because you're talking very personally too. Mm-hmm. You were telling me earlier you're drinking a lot of water and you feel like you're losing weight, so that's legit. You're at the high,
it's flushing.
Yeah, you're at the high end of the
toxins.
spectrum. I can't wait to share this story with you because when I saw it, I was fascinated.
What?
We were watching
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. Sir Richard Attenborough. Is that somebody?
I don't know, but it sounds like
I really hope I'm not butchering him because I love the way the guy talks about stuff, and I know he's got a sense of humor because he's been on John Oliver. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver a few times. He's done voiceover work for that. So there's some English guy who's known for his voice the way James Earl Jones is known for his voice. Yeah, Sir something. And he did this nature. He did this nature Earth series, and they're talking about how this one section, the wildebeests or something, flock there during the rainy season, and then they leave when it dries out. And say it's dry for 6 months, like something solid, like Alaska's in the dark for 6 months or something. That's true. Like it's really dark.
There's a part of Alaska. Yeah, that's where the vampires go.
That's where exactly. The vampires.
Yeah,
they love it there. That's their spring break.
Yeah.
So, and they're showing like the desert and no vegetation, everything's dead. And you think like nothing's there, nothing should be there. And then you see this guy and his 2 kids, like native to the population, like maybe they were in like skin cloths or something, like
so
naked except the skin cloths, in the desert. And they're walking through the desert, and then they show the guy dig about 2 feet into the ground, pull up a root out of the ground that's like the size of a volleyball, and he scrapes it with a rock or something like that, and drops of water come out, and his kids take a couple of drops, and he takes a couple of drops, and they're good for the day. And they're living in a desert. So there is not just my personal experience, but there is legit populations that, yeah, water's super healthy. Are these people unhealthy? Are they going to die? No. Would you consider me healthy?
Yes.
I drink probably 8 ounces of water a day. Now, I drink other stuff, but it's like coffee, but that's like diuretic stuff. That's taking water from you. And I say I drink 16 ounces a day. I'd call that neutral. That's taking, giving, but it's taking. But like just water, just stuff that would hydrate me, probably 8 ounces a day of water. And I'm healthy. So I agree for some people it's very healthy and it does legit things. It does legit things for you. Some people you don't need it. But the way that people are walking around with it, it's like everyone needs it. Let's just get to the nonsense. I'll just say it. I don't think people need to drink as much water as they do, but some people should be drinking more water, without a doubt. Conspiracy theory or not, that we're being attached to our phones and to our water for some larger purpose.
No, I believe that people who are attached to water, but actually drink it. Don't just carry it around and don't drink it, because I've been guilty of that. I think people need water, and you should carry it around.
Everyone should carry it around.
Yes.
It's like a necessity. You should not be without your water.
I believe I shouldn't be without my water.
They got to you. They got to you.
They got to me.
Damn it. Devlin, I'm going to help you. The support groups. Weigh in, people. I'm going to also talk about my personal experience. Jen drinks a ton of water like you, and you guys are both Capricorns, and you symbol on so many other levels. It's freaky. But anyway, so Jen drinks a lot of water, and you drink a lot of water, and you two are the number 1 and 2 people in my life. So I see that, and one day I think to myself, I should probably start drinking a lot of water. So I started drinking a lot of water.
Oh, this is interesting.
I was never more thirsty in my life. It's like it created a need in me. After a week, I was like, I am going back to the way I was. It was normal. I do not have health problems, knock on wood. All this water is making me so thirsty, I can't even stand it. And I stopped drinking water after a week and went back to the 8 ounces a day. Like, that's my personal experience. So I don't. Do I really think it's a conspiracy theory? No. I said that for fun.
But I mean, Jen,
but do people need to be drinking as much water as they do?
Listen,
No.
I don't think I drink enough.
Some people need to drink water, some people don't. I'm just saying, the point of my show is like, check yourself. Where do you fall? Are you like driven by fear that you carry around a water bottle but you don't really drink it and your health's otherwise fine? Are you driven by like, we should be drinking as much water? Did you have an experience like me where you started drinking more water and you got really thirsty? Just everybody weigh in where you're at. This is nonsense. We don't know.
Enough.
I don't think this is really a conspiracy.
I think drinking a lot of water is good. He thinks it causes thirst.
I think drinking a lot of water, I think everything in life's on a spectrum. It's not everyone should be doing this. Everyone should drink double their weight in water daily, or whatever the formula is. Take your weight, take off the 0, multiply it by 100, add ounces, and that's how much water you should be drinking.
Can I add a theory to you?
No.
To your experiment?
What is my experiment?
You drank too much water, and instead you became more and more thirsty.
It's so annoying. I'm so thirsty.
Is this a possibility?
Yes. Go.
You drink so much water,
yes.
You find you're way more thirsty than ever. I believe that.
Well,
I believe it. It happened. I believe you.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
Thank you.
But maybe if you went another week, and I'll tell you why, you wouldn't be that thirsty anymore, because it's just flushing everything out, bringing more things out. Like when you do a cleanse, like the master cleanse, which I actually did, if you can believe it, it really brought out all the toxins, and your tongue turns like a weird color. But I really believe you're being detoxified. And I think that it's a possibility, based on my theory of how water cleanses, that it opened something for you, and your things were getting flushed out. So yes, you were more thirsty.
Because my body wanted more.
Right.
All right, Spurlock.
But I think
I'll give
it
you
may
something.
stop. Give it a week, give it 2 weeks, give it 3 weeks. And then if you're still thirsty, then okay, there's an issue.
I'm going to give you something fun, hopefully. A la Jason Spurlock style. He's I believe, if I'm getting your name wrong.
You mean Morgan Spurlock?
Morgan Spurlock?
The guy who did 30 days or 30, he ate
Why do they call him Jason? Is his name Morgan?
I don't know.
We'll look it up later. The Spurlock.
It's definitely Morgan.
Mr. Spurlock.
I used to watch his show.
Mr. Spurlock, I like to experiment with myself. So I love that show. I love what he did with the movie and his show. So a la Morgan, Jason, Mr. Spurlock, if the listeners vote, and if I only get one vote and no votes contrary that says do it, I will do it. I will give you 30 days of drinking
a lot of water.
My body weight in ounces. So if I'm 150 pounds, I take off the pounds and I cut it in half, whatever the formula, whatever they say on Live Strong or WebMD or anything, whatever they say on that, whatever they say on a trusted source, that's the amount of ounces of water I will drink for 1 month. And just to let you know, it'll be torture for me because I don't drink a lot of water. People say as you get older, you go to the bathroom 9 times a night. Well, the water industry or the medical doctors or whoever has us drinking more water, if you're going to the bathroom 9 times a night, it's because you're drinking like way too much water.
I agree. You should limit your water at night.
Yeah.
If you want to have a good night's
Yeah,
sleep.
I don't. 8 ounces of water a day. Guess how many times I get it? But now you go to the bathroom.
But if you're overweight, you carry a lot of water weight with you. So when you're losing weight anyway, you don't have that problem. You're going to go to the bathroom more even at night, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, my prediction is by the end of the 30 days, if you're drinking a lot of water per day, by the 30th day, you won't be thirsty all the time.
So if you care about this topic at all, or you want to see some more fun nonsense,
I would love to see Kurt
vote.
Drink a lot of water for 30 days, and I think he'd benefit so greatly.
Give Devlin his wish. I hope this was mostly fun and nonsensical, kept it light while you were driving to or from work or whatever you were doing. And Devlin, so happy you finally made it onto the show. It's killing me.
It's been great.
For those of you, when we do have special material that we're going to release, you will probably hear at least 10 shows of me and Devlin. Some with poor audio quality, mics.
Some of us fighting.
But I'll say, more funny, more fighting.
The apology episode.
The apology episode. Devlin and I have tons of material. So, Devlin,
it's great to be here.
Great having you. Cheers. Cheers on the way out.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, everyone, this has been Kurt with
Todd Devlin.
Devlin's holding up the peace sign.
Nah.
Jen says namaste. We don't have to say anything. We say what comes natural.
Okay.
It's natural. If you know me, I say, hey when you meet me. Hey! That's
true.
legit. And I say peace when I'm leaving. That's me.
That is.
That's me. It's not made up stuff.
Jen says namaste.
Jen says namaste. And if you have a thing...
I don't have one.
You don't need...
No, I have to. That's it.
Yeah. If you vote, if you want Todd Devlin to come up with a catchphrase, intro, or a conclusion...
No. Give me a catchphrase to end the show. I'll use your catchphrase and give you credit.
The first person to come up with a catchphrase, he'll try it, give it a roll. Like Honest Movie Trails, the guy reads whatever you want him to read. Devlin will try out your beginning or ending if anyone says anything. We want you, if you're not getting the pattern here, we want you involved.
I will at least try your ideas.
We will try stuff you want us to try. I'll drink water for 30 days, which is torture for me. But I'll do it.
Just have Kurt torches is worth it, so vote yes.
Come torture me, everyone. For nonsense.
I think it'll be such a great experiment. I think he'll come around to the water side.
So tell everyone, I want you to say skilly doodles, as if from another country you wear wooden shoes and give everyone butter cookies.
All right, go ahead.
When you greet them.
Okay. Skiddly doodles?
Skiddly doodles, everyone.
Okay, I'll try it.
Until next time, everyone, peace.
Skiddly doodles.